Toby the tram engine was squeaking very loudly, so he had to go to the works to be oiled up. As he puffed in, he saw James talking to a small green engine he had never seen before.
"Well, hello there. Are you a tram engine?" "Why, yes, I am. Have you seen one before?" "No, I haven't. Of course, I haven't seen any engine for over 50 years until recently."
Toby was confused.
"What do you mean?"
"This is Jim. He used to work up at the old aluminum works. I remember seeing him back in the day at the old transfer yards before it closed."
"Oh, yes, I forgot. You're the engine Henry and the pack found underground back in November. Please, tell me about how you ended up there." "Very well. It'll probably not be the last time I do so, but I enjoy telling stories. I used to work on the Mid-Sodor Railway with Stuart, Falcon, and many other engines like Duke, Albert, Crimson, etc. In 1947, the railway closed. Me, Stuart, and Falcon were bought by the Peel Godred Aluminium Company, and we helped construct an aluminium quarry. It was fun work, though quite dangerous too. They used lots of dynamite to carve the foundations. Stuart and Falcon weren't trusted with the explosives, so I always had to take the trains. It was very loud, and over time, my hearing declined because of it."
"You can hear us now."
"What? Speak up!" "No, just kidding. They fixed my hearing at the works here. We were all happy with our jobs, but did miss Duke quite a lot. Every day, Stuart and Falcon would ask if there was any news about him. Every day until the quarry was completed in 1951. They could only afford to use one engine there, so they sold Stuart and Falcon to the Skarloey Railway and kept me because, well, apparently I'd been the most well-behaved."
"Were you lonely?"
"Well, yes, I did miss Stuart and Falcon's company, but I always enjoyed my work regardless. They did rent an engine on the odd occasion, but I was quite happy on my own. The standard gauge engines would also come by and have a chat occasionally. Like you, James. I remember seeing you a few times. Yes, I kept quite busy pushing and pulling trucks around. At first, the trucks tried their tricks, but they soon became quite friendly, and boy, the trucks could have me howling with laughter at their jokes. We worked quite well as a team."
I wish that was the case on our line.
"Did you ever feel that your railway was, small?" "It must have been compared to the Mid-Sodor." "Oh yes, I did miss the good long runs from Allsborough to the mountains. But again, I was busy most of the time, so it was fine. That is, until the decline of the aluminium works." "I know that feeling very well. My old line also went down the drain. What happened to yours?" "Well, several things. Economical reasons, first of all. The PGAL was not very good at managing their money. They bought all this new machinery and equipment and expanded way too fast, which got them into a lot of debt. It came to bite them when the aluminium supply declined in the mid-60s. My line of trucks decreased from 7 to about 3. Now, of course, they've found loads more on the current site today, which is right by the Peel Godred line. But being in such a crappy financial state, they couldn't afford to simply move the industry. Of course, economics weren't the only factor in the downfall. Perhaps the biggest one was a very poor safety record, which was one of the reasons it was hard to get funding."
"Was anyone killed?"
"Fortunately, no. But we had loads of accidents ranging from improper use of machinery to incidents with dynamite. I remember one incident in particular. I was puffing along and past a group of boxes when there was a loud bang. Jesus Christ! Apparently, a piece of dynamite had fallen out of the boxes, and when I puffed by it, it set it off, which in turn set off all the other dynamite in the boxes. No one was hurt. In fact, everyone just laughed it off, which is shocking. It was also at this time that I started to deteriorate. I was an old engine in much need of an overhaul, but there was no way the manager could afford it. The quarry fell into a terrible state. The aluminium had all been dug up, and the railway board decided to build another aluminium works right on the Peel-Godred line. Why can't they use me over there?
Well, several reasons. First of all, you're in really bad shape, and they don't want to bother with an overhaul. Second, since it's right on the railway, it doesn't need engines to take slate to the transfer yards. Third, even if it did, they could just use lorries. I'm afraid we've reached the era where you'd just be uneconomical.
That hit me very hard, being told that I was basically not useful. The manager knew this, and tried his hardest to sell me to another railway, but no one wanted to have to go through the trouble of giving me an overhaul. However, the manager would not let me go to scrap heap, even when the last day came.
Well, this is it. The quarry is officially closed.
And what about me? Is it finally time? Is it the end?
I would never let that happen. Here's the plan. It is likely that they will bulldoze these transfer yards and rip up the rails, so we can't leave you in your shed.
But where do I go then?
Ah, you see, we have an old military bunker underneath us that hasn't been used in ages.
Oh yes, I've heard of that. Never been in it though.
We'll put you in there, so if anyone does decide to buy you, we can just pull you out.
Very well then, considering the alternative. I was lifted off the rails and onto a truck, and we went to the entrance of the bunker. I remember the first time I went in there. It was so dark and eerie, but at the same time, it felt like a place of hope. I don't know why, just felt like my story wasn't over just yet.
Well, Jim, I guess this is it.
Goodbye, sir. I'm sorry.
No. You should be anything but that. You've worked so hard through these tough times, and you are an incredible engine. Even if I don't find you a new owner, I'm sure that you'll find one regardless.
That was the last time I ever saw him. From what I heard, he had to move to England to find another job. I wish he would have popped by and said goodbye, though.
How awful. I was shut up in a shed, but only overnight. I was bought by Sir Topham Hatt the next day. What was it like being stuck in darkness for over 50 years?
Well, to be honest, it didn't feel like 50 years. It felt a lot shorter than that, I tell you. But before I knew it, a big brown excavator dropped through the roof. Oh, hello! Nice of you to put by.
Oh my goodness! I found the source!
And I saw daylight again.
Well, you and Duke now have so much in common. You'll be boasting about which one of you had the better locked up in the shed for many years scenario.
Oh, I am looking forward to meeting him again. Stewart and Falcon as well.
And a few weeks later, Jim did. He was loaded onto the tracks and soon heard a familiar whistle. Duke came bustling in, but he didn't look happy. Jim was confused.
Ah, this won't do, youngster. You're late. Sorry, we had some problems with flatbed, so we had to get another one.
Duke laughed. He was only teasing.
Jim, my dear engine, I cannot tell you how pleased I am to see you. And you too, my dear Grandpuff. Where's Stewart and Falcon? You mean Peter, Sam and Sir Handel? Ah, keep quiet. We're going to surprise them.